Okay. All right. Happy Monday. Welcome back to another 3D modeling and rendering class. So we have been working on our Mario scene. I think last class we went through some of the metahuman stuff. I think that's what we did. So we did metahuman stuff. If you missed that, that is on the YouTube channel. If you guys get a chance, I don't know why I'm pointing it out. Can you guys not hear me again? Can you hear me? Is it low?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, let me increase my all right. So how about now? Is this better? Is this better?
That's better.
All right. Awesome. So yes, like I was saying, we've been working on our Mario model, and today I think it's time for us to kind of take a deep dive, and I think this next part is probably going to take us a few classes to kind of finish it up. But we're going to start working on Mario, and that's what we're going to do for till we get it done, and maybe we can get a decent rig on it or something, and then see where we go from there. But that's going to be what the rest of these tutorials are going to probably be, is this character stuff and how I would approach it inside of 3ds Max, because you can do a lot of this stuff inside of Max. You don't need to go inside of like ZBrush or anything. There was a time when most character models were done inside of like Max or Maya or something like that. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna attempt to model Mario. So if you're just joining, feel free to follow along. This is gonna be pretty much how I approach any modeling project, any modeling assignment. You start gathering your reference, then you start aligning your reference, and then you start modeling. So block out, mid poly, final. If you're gonna go low poly, you can go further than that, and then rig, animate, bring into the software, do whatever you. Let's see. So yeah, we've kind of been on the outside, not really focusing on these guys on the inside here. We've been doing everything kind of around them, right? And now I think we can at least tackle one of these guys. And what I'm probably gonna do is just make a base Mario, and then we can add the assets that we need to add to it and different things like that. So
You're kind of cutting in and out.
am I still cutting in and out? Yeah. Maybe if I move my microphone a little bit. How about that? Is that better?
I can hear you clearly.
Okay. Apologies if you guys can't hear me. I'm also recording this, so you guys will definitely get a chance to rewatch this if you miss anything. All right, let's dive in. So let's, you guys know the basic. Just type in Mario into your Mario into your Google, and it'll start pulling up different references and stuff like that. So this guy, if you look at the size here, I don't know if you guys can see my screen, but I'm looking at the size here, and it's like 250 by 380. That's very, very small. So as usual, I always tell you guys, hey, you want to go into your tools, right? And you want to go into your size, and you want to make sure that you have large selected. So now the images that it shows you are larger format, and this is perfect. So this is actually quite awesome for us. So we're gonna save this into our, let's go, let's save into new, actually I have a Mario folder that I'm putting everything in. Let's go refs. Oh, well, I already have that guy, but this is how it, I would go about it. All right. Another thing, I do is I want to look for different angles to help me with how different things look. Like now I know how the bottom of his shoe look. If I, if this image loads well, I can use this to kind of give me an idea of what the bottom of his shoe looks like. So different things like that. I'm trying to find different images to help in this process. Okay. Yeah, this is even better, right? So I'm looking for, how the stitching works, right? The folds and different things like that. I want to know what's going on there so that I have, the best chance of making the most accurate model. So as usual, we're just going through. This is a great one because it's kind of it's almost like a profile. I'm gonna save this one, and this is what I would use for what I would call like a PureRef board or something like that. And PureRef is that board that allows you to grab all of your reference together. It allows you to grab all your reference together and on one page, and you can use and look at them as you're kind of modeling. So yeah, things like that. This is good too. There we go. See, we're getting good references. I mean, it's Mario, probably one of the most iconic characters, so I guess that's not really a surprise. But I like that we're getting different sides and angles and stuff like that. So if my thing will let me save, then I'll be able to save it. But oh wow, look at what he looks like without the stash. Stashless. Is this for real? Alright, I'm gonna save this because this is good. And wow, that is things you can't unsee, right? Mario without a mustache. I don't know how I feel about this.
It looks terrible.
I don't know how. I honestly don't know how I feel about this. He looks like a little boy. Oh man, I really like the subsurface scattering they have going on here. And I don't know why it's taking so long for it to save just these simple images. Oh, I think it's because I'm pulling something down from my work server. But alright, look at, yeah, he's round. Okay, so now look, we know what these are. These are like, and these are, these are good as well because it gives us a decent idea of how to light, and how they professionally light Mario and things like that. So we can definitely use that as well. But yeah, I think we've got a good chunk. Okay, this is interesting. Wow. Save it just in case. Who did this? Who did this? The internet will forever be undefeated. Okay, so let's save this guy. Just good reference. That's all I'm looking for. Stuff that's gonna help me. You know, because a lot of the times, you know, our biggest issue is like, okay, what does this look like when it's over here? Or what does, you know, so it's always good to get some stuff. Wow, different poses, cool. Alright, I think this is going to be it, and then I'm just going to start bringing in our reference, and we can go from there. I don't see anything else like that. And Ninja Mario. What is that? Okay. I think we've got a good bit of stuff. Okay, now let's go ahead and hide. I'm just gonna draw a plane where this Mario is, just this like quick size. I want it to. So all I did was zero it out, so it's on the X, Y, and Z. I'm gonna select this. I'm just gonna do File, Save, Selected, and I'm gonna call it Mario underscore character base. Alright, and then I'm just gonna open that file. File, open, don't save. And it's just gonna look exactly like this. And okay, continue. Okay. Alright, let's say unhide all, making sure nothing is in our scene. So I'm gonna hit G to get rid of our grid. I'm just gonna shift, drag, make a copy. Actually, I don't want any faces on this. Let's do this. And then I'm gonna hit M on my keyboard to pull up my my material editor. If you have multiple screens, you can just dock your screen, you know, your material screen on another screen. If you don't, just, you know, pull it up. Here's how you guys can see mine. So let us see. Let us just Control A. I'm gonna delete all this. Do the same here. Control A, delete. Just gonna drag this guy in. And go rough. Want a bitmap? Let me turn on my no board so you guys can see what's going on in this game. So now, right click, general, just the bitmap, and now I can navigate to where I have that file saved and open it up. Image. So while it opens that up, alright, now we've got our image in here. I'm going to use this as my reference image. I'm going to drop it onto my model. I can't see it right now, but if I hit F3 on my keyboard, voila, we've got Mario, but he looks a little squashed. Let's make sure that our aspect ratio is correct for this guy. So I'm going to go into our plane settings here. I'm just going to drop down my modifier list over here, UVW map. I'm just going to hit bitmap fit. It's going to navigate me back to where it is. Hit open, and now I've made sure that my image is the aspect ratio. So now, as you can see, it's just going to start tiling it over and over. So I'm just going to reduce this width till we match. Alright, so if I right click on this plane, I can go into my object properties. I can freeze it, but if I freeze it without doing show frozen as gray, it's going to freeze it, and then it's going to turn our object into a gray mesh. So just going to hit OK there. And all right. So object properties, show frozen, freeze, and OK, like that. All right, so we're going to, let me open up my PureRef. I guess I don't have PureRef on here. Alright, well, I guess I'll have to just use these for the rest of my references. I'm going to shift drag this guy over, make 3 copies, and then hit M on my keyboard. Why is this not connected to anything? Alright, so I'm just going to shift drag this guy. And because it's already navigating to that folder, and I know that's where the rest of my references are, I can just easily navigate there. So, to all files, and then let's find our pseudo side image. Okay, it's not a file type that's recognized. I guess that's why it won't open. Okay, that's what happened. My VPN had turned off. Okay. All right. Okay, let us make this guy. Make this guy right there, throw this guy on, and as you can see, because it's got this aspect ratio, now this guy is squished. So we just need to go back into this UVW map, go back into that bitmap fit, and we just need to fit it to its own image. So now I need to move this guy out of the way like so, and then in my plane I need to just increase the width, because what it's doing is it's fixing that aspect ratio. And what I want to do now is I want to just bring this over, hit M on the keyboard. I'm going to increase the transparency a little bit for this guy, because I want to kind of scale it up so that it matches. I'm just going to pull this guy in front a little bit, F on the keyboard, pull this guy out like so, and then I'm just going to scale up to make sure that Mario matches Mario here. You know, a good way is just make an instance. Okay, as usual, you guys know me, Mr. Instance Man, and you just find an area, and you want to match that area. So like I want to find the eyes, right, and then make sure that the eyes or something match, right. So I'm still a little off, just a little bit. So. Turn on my absolute Whoops. Scale it up a little bit, hit W to move it down, just like that. I just want to match an aspect of it. And then I can just align this guy back. And the cool thing is I can align the X, Y, right. Now I'm back straight, delete this guy. And now we've got something that's scaled properly to Mario as kind of like our pseudo, our fake kind of side view. So that's the idea of this guy right here. So let's go back here, and then I'm just gonna reduce this back to 0, right click, and then I can just freeze these guys, and now I can't select them or do anything with them. I'm just gonna delete these guys. And all right, so you know, it's 12:25 now. We've got kind of our side reference and our front reference set up, and the next thing for us to do would be to start blocking out our shapes here. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to start kind of blocking out what we have here. So just using basic shapes. And I might even use the line tool to kind of help me. So I'm gonna use this for the arms. Once again, for the legs. I would imagine feet, and maybe some sort of sphere for the belly. Or actually, maybe a box. So maybe just start with a box. So, back in the day, what we would do is we'd start with kind of like a cube. This is what they mean by box modeling. So we start with a cube. And then we'd zero it out. Alt X. Alright, so here's what, you'd start with something like this. And you can just Control C, Control V, Control V. Make sure it's completely boxed, and then you hit E to go into your editable poly, F4 to turn on your wireframe, right click, connect down like so. Alright, boom, select this side, boom, just like that. We've got one side. Alright, so here is box modeling for you. So this is what, this is how I learned and what I used to do when I was modeling. So I just Alt-1 is the default for getting into your Swift loop. So I'm just gonna increase that, or I can just go boom like that, right click, connect, 1, 2, 3. And I always want to make sure everything is kind of like straight up and down. All right, I'm just gonna scaling. So I'm just gonna do 1 on the keyboard. Just start pushing and pulling the verts that I have here. All right. So that's the idea. This is poly modeling right here. So still gonna probably pull this guy in quite a bit. Then go there like so, and then you'd boop like that, shift drag R to scale in a little bit like so, shift drag, alright, scale out like so, shift drag, scale out like so. But I think I would rather stop like somewhere around the knees, right where I think the knees would bend. Drag one like so for the other side, because I imagine if I'm gonna bend it, I'm gonna, you know, think about how you know, the geometry is gonna deform, and if I don't have any polys here, it's not gonna deform very properly. And if I have only one, it won't have enough polygons to do that smoothly. So I'm just gonna give it, you know, three kind of rings right there. I'm gonna scale this guy down like so, and 2. And I can do that for these guys. So I'm just gonna scale these guys down just so that, you know, they're kind of straight up and down, not really all side to side. There's a few ways you can do that. You can go to R, scale down, right? Double click, scale, and then just moving your verts into place.
Oops, wait. I just wanted to let you know a few of us are heading off to head to lunch.
Okay.
Because we're back at school.
Okay. So there we go, like so. And boop, like that for the bottom of the heel. And I'll just drag these guys like so. Like that. And like that. Just gonna bring this guy out because this is my representation of the heel. Alright. And then I would go in here like so. And we could just boop for the first part. Maybe scale out a little bit because, you know, it's Mario. He got them clown shoes on. Scale up a little bit. Boom. Scale this down. Alright. And alright. So, you know, it's just simple out of boxes. This started from a box and we're just kind of building our way up, building these shapes slowly but surely. You know, I can now boom like so. Alright. So, you know, I'm starting to look at where our arm is coming from. So like right there. And let's remove this because it's creating this extra poly in here, and we want our model kind of like centered like that. So, you know, one thing we've you know, kind of addressed is the depth, but not the roundness of the character yet. And that's something that you know, we're just gonna keep chugging along. We're gonna keep chugging along with the blocking until we get to that point. So we're not really there yet. So let me create a new box, and I'm gonna start like that. I'm just gonna do the same thing that I did. Let's make it into a cube. And I'm just gonna Alt and X like so. Okay. making sure it's in the center. Model. Alright, so now let's go into our edit poly. Boom, select those. Same thing. Right click, connect. Make sure it's dead center. Just gonna select this, delete that. Hit 1 on my keyboard. Actually, hit 2. I'm just gonna do connect, and then I'm gonna do 5 sides to start with, and I think this will give us enough for a decent blocking starter. So, you know, as you guys can see, this is very simple, and the idea for you guys is to start yourself simple, and then you start throwing more at yourself. You start throwing more polys, right? You always want to start very low, and then build from whatever low poly you're working on, and then build on top of that to get your high poly. So you always start low, then go high. You know, you don't want to turn on turbo smooth all the way up and then try to start manipulating the mesh from that level. It's not going to work. You're not going to have fun, and you know, trust me, this is the tried and true method if you're gonna, you know, model stuff like this. Is, hey, you know, if you're box modeling, right? So I'm just adding more polys where I need them right now, just to kind of give me the roundness that I'm looking for. And I'm hitting Alt 1 to go into my Swift loop, and then you know, going into 1 to get into my vertice mode, and then just, you know, slightly adjusting. Alt 1 a little bit, hit 1 on the keyboard, boom, like that, slightly adjusting it. Alright, so now I'm getting a much closer representation to what this silhouette is doing, but I'm still keeping it relatively low, as you guys can see. So I'm gonna probably hit Alt 1 here again, and if I hold down Shift, it's gonna try to match this. It's gonna try to match this this normal curve. So if I've got my Alt 1 selected, I've got my Swift loop. So if I hold down Shift, it's gonna put it in the middle, and it's gonna try to average that curve. If I just do it regularly, it's just gonna put it there. But if I hold down Shift, it's gonna center it, and it's gonna average that curve for me. So sometimes you want that, sometimes you don't. I just want to, you know, make you guys aware that that's a thing that you guys can do in here. All right, so now we have our head kind of blocked in. I'm gonna use a box for this earpiece as well, and just pull it down like so. Hit Alt and X, 1 on the keyboard, and then just, you know, just like that. I'm gonna go hit Edit Poly. I'm gonna actually, for this guy, I'm gonna select this front, Control I, which is gonna, what that's gonna do is it's gonna select the inverse. I'm gonna select that inverse. I'm gonna delete it. Go back to my front view, right? And then hit 1 on my keyboard. So now I can see my verts. Now I can start affecting how my verts are placed around. So I'm gonna hit Alt and 1 on my keyboard. Boom. I'm gonna just start clicking here to add some polygons, or to add some, some edges. Right now I'm just manipulating based on the shape that I see. Right? You know, it's like, there's really no magic to this stuff. You're just really pushing and pulling these polygons around. So I'm just gonna maybe make this guy all the way up here. Alt 1, and if I hold down Shift, you see that? Right? It's averaging that curve for me. So that's something that you might want, something you might not. You know, keep that in your bag of tricks, bag of things you can do. All right, so I'm just, you know, matching the silhouette value of the ear. Yeah, I'm trying to make these guys as straight as possible, just because in the long run, you will thank yourself. It's gonna look cleaner. It'll probably make it a lot easier to, you know, manipulate the geometry around it if other pieces aren't so close to it. So I just kind of want to, just like to straighten some, you know, my stuff out when I can, just to make my mesh a little easier, a little cleaner to work with in the long run. So, you know. And then I can hit Alt-1 again. Boom, Alt-1 like so. Right, remember, if I hit Alt-1 and then I hold Shift, it's supposed to do that. And then I can hit R here. I'm going to scale this guy in like so. And I'm going to pull this guy out like that. Hit 1 on the keyboard and then just... because I imagine that his hat is in the way of this shape, right? This is that draw through mentality, right? I'm imagining what's happening on the other side of that, right? I don't know what's happening, but you know, I'm trying to use the best of my ability to make an educated guess as to what is happening beyond this hat and this piece of hair. All right, so now we've got ourselves the blocking of the ear, the head that is super long. Just pull this guy back like so. All right, so let's keep moving. We're making our way through. For the nose, I think we can just use a sphere and then just block that out. Hit Alt and X. Center this guy. Okay. So we got this guy centered. And then just hit, you know, simple at 4x4. 1. Scale out. Hit Alt and X. Alright, just scale out a little bit that way. Scale in this way. I mean, come on, guys. This is... At this point, you guys should understand the, you know, you're just boxing it out. You're just giving yourself kind of a rough template. It doesn't even have to be the final mesh you use, but you're giving yourself a framework to work from to start with, and then you're building on top of that, you know. So that's the idea of this. So let's hit Alt and X, Alt X. Alright, see all the pieces we have. Okay, so for the arms, let's see, I'm gonna delete this line and I'm gonna use this guy right here. And let me see, do I want to create a new box, or I'm just gonna use this same mesh. So let's see, boop, like so. Right, instead of going like this, right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build the shoulder first, right? Build the shoulder like that, and then out of the shoulder, under here is where I'm gonna pull out the arm. All right, so I'm gonna hit 1, Alt and X, grab this guy like so. All right, and from in here is where we're gonna pull out our arm. All right, so I'm just gonna pull this guy in a little bit like so. Almost touching, but you know, you guys get the point. shift, drag. Okay. All right, now we're starting to cook a little bit. So I'm just gonna pull this guy back a little like so. Shift, drag again. Okay. Okay. All right, so with hands, I'm gonna actually use this to create new geometry and new topology. So I'm gonna actually right click, I'm gonna split that, and I'm gonna grab this guy like so. All right, there's two ways you can do this. You can shift drag like so, the same way we did the arm out of the shoulder. We're gonna kind of do that with this as well. We're gonna do the thumb out of here like so. All right, so let's go to F like that. So that's gonna be where the thumb is gonna be coming from. And then if we ring this, we can connect like so. Okay. So like that. And then we can use these guys. So sorry I'm moving around so much. That's just usually how I process what I'm looking at. I look a bunch of times and then I make a move. Measure twice, kind of cut once mentality. So I'm just gonna make this a little smaller, and then connect this. Yeah, this is correct. Alright, so now I just want to select these guys and then extrude them. And what it's going to want to do is it's going to want to extrude them as one, and I want them kind of separated as individuals. Like so. Like that. And then maybe we can throw a bevel. Right. So you know, most of your fingers, I don't know if you're an alien or not, you only have two places where they really bend, right? Apart from your opposable thumb. So that's the idea here, is to where it bends. 1, 2, and then opposable thumb. So just check mark there. And then I'm just gonna pull these out, because they're supposed to be fingers, so they're a little longer. Just like that. I'm just gonna move these guys down a little bit, just so just to mimic where they bend. I can even scale these guys. Nope. Scale them locally. Right. And thumb. Extrude, and that should be fine. Alright, so this is pretty much our block out. You know, this is a pretty good start, I'd say. You know, let's do symmetry modifier. You know, next class, what we're probably gonna do is, no. X-axis. No. It's the X. Yeah. So. Yeah. This is gonna be the blocking for today. In next class, we're going to finish up the blocking process. Finish, you know, kind of boxing him out, and then we'll start detailing him, throwing, you know, and making him rounder and different things like that. So yeah, this is it for the first video. Let me see this. Where's this one? So nope, x-axis. Yep. And we mirror this guy as a instance. Okay, offset like so. So here's our Italian blocky plumber. I know. N64, here we come. Don't forget to save your work. Alright, so this is where we are today. We just finished this blocking of our Mario character. Next class, we will be finishing out the blocking.